So there's a young lady, Valerie. She's Kikuyu. A few weeks back, she trended for confronting Gachagua on his falsehoods, bad manners, and tribalism. Days back, she was on a Kikuyu vernacular station where she stated the fact that most opposition supporters tend to be cavalier about. And I quote, Gachagua minus Ruto one term equals zero agenda, end quote. So here's the question. Apart from the president through BBG, which other politician or presidential contender has an agenda? Now, that question segues me to a Jubilee Party meeting chaired by Uhuru Kenyatta yesterday, where they flouted the possibility of conditionally backing Raila for president again if he's ever ties with the president. My friends, only a foolish Luo or our friends would be excited at such asinine proclamations. Raila's best prospects for 27 is to stick with the president. But somehow, I felt it possible that Uhuru Kenyatta and acolytes can actually convince Raila to ditch the president in the run-up to the next elections. That possibility sent chills down my spine. In fact, I even speculated that Sifuna's sustained attacks on the president are bankrolled by Uhuru Kenyatta with Raila's blessings. The attacks are meant to give Raila wiggle room, a way out in case of any eventualities, any unintended outcomes. Sifuna is Raila's insurance. There's this political pundit who made a very poignant observation vis-a-vis Raila. And I quote, when supporting Raila, he stated, never be angrier or happier than him at certain occurrences, even if he be the victim, end quote. Now, Raila ditching the president would be a mistake of great proportions. It would be a monumental mistake. So why do you think that is? Simple. Uhuru Kenyatta failed to make Raila president as president, and secondarily, Kikuyus won't vote for Raila as history informs, and finally, same support promised to Raila is also promised to Matiang'i. So who is fooling who? President Uhuru is trying to run circles around the old man. Only a fool can underrate Uhuru Kenyatta. He's a political genius. He's the only politician who conducts his affairs carte blanche, never to be held accountable. Let's give him time to work, they told us. Back in 13, he promised to support Mudavadi, only to turn on him at the 11th hour. And relative to BBG, he did the same thing Raila did, recommended some of his best men to work with the president. Yet every critique is ever directed at Raila and his men. President Uhuru Kenyatta remains unscathed. And still yet is the only politician who can privatize a public infrastructure in the name of expressway and actually get away with it. Imagine a project funded by taxpayer funds, but whose proceeds end up in a private family pocket, the Kenyatta family, yet they run no hashtags of Occupy Expressway. Uhuru still remains unscathed. ODM should stick with the president because after all, in the worst case scenario that we lose, the winner, Gachagua, will still bend the knee and beg us to help him govern. And that is not me saying, but history. Peace.